After around 2 years of research, trial, we've now come to a point where we offer an extremely efficient LED lighting system for cabinets in a choice of extremely good whites. Some warm, some neutral, some cool, according to what the end user requires, what the customer requires. The fixing of these lights is extremely easy now. Their power consumption is only 2 watts per strip. They're relatively inexpensive and they do an excellent job. So I will demonstrate to you basically what the kit and the components are in the system. You have already seen the LED kits. They're very, very simple. They basically come with a power unit that can be 15 or 30 watts. They come with a little distribution board from which you can run 6 cables, which we can supply as extras. They're 2 meter long. They also come with the small joining ones. And the other point to remember is that these strips can be just, as I've shown on other videos, they can be just put together in long rows by just pushing them together. Now, one of the problems we've had over the years is getting the colours, the white colours correct. And with a special order now, we've been able to establish what we consider the museum grade, which would be the neutral white at 4100 Kelvin. We have sold an awful lot of the cool white, and in a minute you'll see the examples of both colours in the cabinets that we sell. So there's the neutral white and the cool white, and then of course we do the warm white, which is more consistent with the old tungsten halogen for people who have either old cabinets where they don't want to renew all the lighting and they want a mix of the old lighting, or whether they have antiques and in an old room where they want that sort of, well, basically this sort of colour, this sort of yellowy colour, as opposed to what you'll see are the true whites, being the neutral and the cool white. So just to summarise this little section of the clip, the kits are extremely simple. All the components can be bought individually. We do tend to sell a kit to start with, and then people just add, when they see how simple it is, they add more cables, they add more strips, and also they might determine that instead of a 15 watt, which will run 7 2 watt, that's 7 2s are 14, a 15 watt, they might go for a 30 watt power unit, which would allow them to run 15 2 watt strips, because 15 times 2 is 30 watts. Now, to move over to the cabinets, as a long distance shot, when the camera settles down, you'll see only a slight difference, and it really is in the eye of the beholder. Now, the neutral white is demonstrated in this cabinet, and I'll come in closer. And the cooler white, if you look as I move across, is in this cabinet. Now, the strange thing is, if you never saw one beside the other, you'd think both were fantastic. Well, both are fantastic. Now, I have to say that a museum would probably go for this neutral white, because the lighting is completely innocuous, meaning that you don't really take any notice of it. The colours and the rendition is absolutely spot on. So the yellows, the lemon yellows, the reds, the purples, the greens, the more subtle tones. There's that fluorite from Illinois, you see. If anybody knows the material, it's come out perfect. A rather pale, insipid fluorite from Dalnagorsk, absolutely smack on. Well, you can't go wrong with white. Dioptase, a little azurite in the background, and euvarite sit all the colours absolutely perfect. So for a museum and somebody who wants perfect lighting, the neutral is spot on. But quite often, and I've proved it at shows, people will actually go, whoa, I like this one. And they like it, I think, because although all the strips are 2 watts, and I'll tell you what strips are involved, the cool white actually produce a slightly brighter light. So the minerals do look absolutely, you know, from a selling point of view, they've really sparkle and come alive. However, from a selling point of view, it's fantastic. But I think from if you have it in your room at home as a display, you actually want the more subtle museum colours. Now, in this cabinet, it's all English material, so that there aren't the dramatic purples and oranges and things. But those of you who know English material, the rendition. I mean, here's a fluorite from Weardale. It's a very pale one, but it's come out fine, and stank mine calcite just fine. Another old-time fluorite from Cumberland, Weardale. I'm moving down. You see the colours are coming out fine, but quite dramatic. And moving back now, I think from a selling point of view, at a show, you think, wow, that's the one. But I think from a museum point of view or a home, you'd actually want the neutral white. So it is really quite bizarre. We've got 2 excellent whites here, and then really one has to make a decision. That I haven't demonstrated the warm whites because they're, to be quite frank, they are extremely orangey yellow. And just like if you go to the shows, you'll see most people still use tungsten halogen, and that gives that sort of yellowy wash, which is fine if you're used to it. But once you've moved into LED lighting, you really need to discern a little bit better what the colour whites are. Now, these are our best-selling cabinets. These are the German table-mounted or desk-mounted cabinets. And I have fitted one out with removing a shelf. So they do actually come with the 3 glass shelves, which is that one. And in this one, I've taken one shelf out for larger specimens below. And I think that is the latest update on the lighting. They're extremely easy to fit. These cabinets, I'll actually move to the neutral white. These cabinets have 4 strips at the top in 2 rows for a good blast from the top, and then I have just put 2 strips on this row here to add a little bit of light for the bottom. So in this cabinet and the other one, both of them have 6 strips. That's 6 2s are 12 watts, and one adheres the strips quite simply about 2 inches in on the glass shelf using a double-sided foam twin stick adhesive, so they're very easy to fit. Small hole is drilled through the back of the cabinet, and the lead wire is fed through. Likewise in the top one, the hole is drilled, lead wire comes through, and that one, as you can see, is feeding 4 strips joined 2 by 2, and there's the little small joining strip used in this installation. So very efficient use of 6 to 12 watts of lighting to light quite a large cabinet, and that means low electricity bills, and more importantly low heat generation. So if you've got sensitive antiques or materials, there isn't a build-up of heat in the cabinet. And I'll just give you a view from the top. There's the 4 strips glued down with the twin stick adhesive, and the feeder wire is just popped through the corner there, and that just runs through to the power supply round the back, which the 2 wires are fed into. And that is the point at which we're at. I'm very pleased that we've got to a very nice balanced range of white colours, inexpensive installation, inexpensive components, and therefore ideal lighting for cabinets.